So, you know, you can have that beautiful mix of both. And this is the cool thing. And this is where we get to see a lot of those countries who actually do have a lot of national pride, a little bit patriotic, who come through and see them have really, really solid support. And actually, in all fairness, Africa is one of those regions which is very, very good in terms of having that national sport, having that pride coming through. Let's take a look through some of the teams, however, and we'll kickstart things over towards Algeria side, who actually coming in towards this, for my money, are actually one of the sides who potentially are even the favorites in this qualifier. They have a lot of decent talent coming from Algeria. We've got Rizo, Dodi, Lambadkor. I think that is the best way to go about or either Lamdakor even, X-Nave and Nidahal.
Yes, I've already got a favorite player on this one. So obviously this guy's like a Half-Life like fan. Lambda Core is gonna be for sure is gonna be like a map in Half-Life 1 somewhere, guaranteed. So like that's I would put money on the fact that this is it's an old school. So at least someone that at some point in his life must have played some Half-Life. It's too suspicious. Great names. Yeah, I mean, you know, they're now representing a country, even if it's at, you know, like the early stage of the qualifier here. You just know it's going to make a big difference. And like you said, there's probably a lot of pride wrapped up into it. Obviously, on the Egypt side, we've got Bingo, FaZe, Alone, Wezo, and B2K. So, you know, props to the players for picking names that are easy on the casters. It's an underrated thing, but as casters, we obviously love that, because that could be one of the brutal aspects sometimes when you get players you just have no idea about, and you're like, my god, this is going to be wild. But
yeah, I mean, there's actually a common one which I was going to ask you, being a Danish man yourself. So you obviously know over from Ecstatic, now Gaming Gladiators, there's Kragan, which is what we would call it, but I've been told it's Crown.
Yeah, how would you say that? You'd probably say something like, I think normally you would say Cowan, which is like it's such a
there's no way I'm gonna get that one out myself.
No, I'd say like definitely that. I think we've all settled on some version of like Kragan. I think that's absolutely fine. Let's not mess it up. Let's you know, keep it like that. I also feel like if you're a player, right? Like if you're a player and you hear a caster mispronouncing your name, like you've got to move on that like on day one. Like if you want it fixed, do it on day one. Like don't wait a month or a year, or in Sipnick's case, like 5 years, and then come out and say like, oh, by the way, it's not actually Sipnick's, it's Sipex. It's like, well, that's too late, bro. Like, I'm sorry.
Or like I know we had obviously Flames, who for a while everyone called Flames, and then one time Harry and Hugo were commentating and said easy for Flamesy, and then he was like, oh, I like that actually, let's call it Flamesy. Kept that for 2 months. I was like, nah, actually no, I want Flames. Like, dude, like just make your mind up, like keep it simple. So yeah, I'm with you, man. I appreciate having the simple names that are for us just a little bit makes our life easier. Yeah, dude, when they're not confusing and when they're just easy to kind of roll off the tongue in these quick moments.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, as an expert on none of these countries, I did bump into a crazy project that they're building in Egypt. I don't know if you've heard about this, but basically what they're trying to do is that so if you look at a map of Egypt, you can tell that obviously like all of the population and just I think a lot of the infrastructure of the country generally is coming down from like, you know, Alexandria and obviously to Cairo, and like just following the Nile down, right? Like that's where like a lot of the life of the country is. But the country is way larger than that, and I think one of the things they want to do is they want to try and actually build like essentially an artificial river from the ocean to basically like irrigate like a massive area of land so that they can kind of like build like it's I think, just as like a fan of engineering and stuff like that, I just think it's such a cool idea to say, hey, listen, there's so much area inside, like we can make it super habitable if we do this. I don't know how feasible it is. I'm obviously not an expert, but I just remember reading that as like an Egyptian project that was out there. And I thought this is really cool. I hope they succeed with that, because that would just be really fun. So you know, little random thing. I'm sure if you Google something like Egypt and you know, country irrigation or something, you get the right link for it.
That's sick. That is pretty damn cool. Yeah, kind of insane, these like feats of science that we get out in those regions. Especially like, you know, I spent Christmas in Dubai, and they have a thing called seeding. I'm sure you've probably heard about it, where they artificially make rain. Kind of insane. So that's pretty cool. We're getting just about underway soonish in towards this one. I don't know if we're exactly ready for it, but we maybe can bring you the veto in just a moment to see where we're going to be heading in this game. But before we get there, one guy that I really want to do just highlight that we should keep an eye on heading in towards this one is Lam Dakor. For me, very talented guy, but I actually caught him. They qualified for, at least through the closed qualifiers of the RMR. They were making really good runs at the PGL RMR. They actually finished top and they went to the RMR itself. Well, they were meant to, but unfortunately they had visa issues. So they qualified and they were meant to go to the RMR. And Lam Dakor was actually one of the main men in that run who put up a kind of actually some incredible runs. He was like in the kind of the sort of the top performers coming through for a team called 15 Average, but they were super unfortunate and they had visa issues and they weren't able to make it the RMR itself. We're in towards the vetoes. Our first map is going to be that of Anubis, picked by the likes of Egypt. That's pretty damn cool that we kind of get that.
Makes sense.
Through. Yeah, it does kind of make sense. Picking home turf quite literally.
Yeah, good to see that. Still, I feel like Vertigo has been like since the changes, I haven't really seen it played at all. I feel like it's just been sideswiped every single time. We do have Mirage coming up as our second one, picked by Algeria there, so that's gonna be a pretty good, again, one of those maps that everyone kind of knows how to play. Vertigo is still being hated on. It sucks. I need to go in and play it more myself. Like I have looked around, but I need to actually get like more of a familiar feeling. Do you like the new Vertigo? Do you think it's a good change?
I actually do. I played it last night. I've played it, a fairly decent amount since it came out. I tried to get a good kind of 2 to 3 pugs in a day kind of vibe, and yeah, I honestly kind of like it. I think I didn't like Vertigo that much beforehand. I thought it was pretty just whatever. It was, I think for me, when we were talking about maps being changed, I was very much of the either minus Vertigo, just because a lot of pros don't like it, or minus Inferno, because I just personally don't like it. And then have a map like, Santorini or something new come into the fray. But yeah, not to be. We had Dust 2, which I'm sad to see because I'm a bit of a Dust 2 hater. I can't lie. I think that map is pretty average. Inferno will be our decider, and coming through, we got 2 out of 3 of the kind of the puggiest maps in the pool with that Mirage and Inferno. They're kind of very simplistic. The fundamentals are there, which I think is good, especially if these sides maybe haven't had a huge amount of time to practice. They can actually lean upon just what is a bit of muscle memory, right? They'll play it in their pugs, in their kind of their facets and their MMs and all the rest. It'll be something that they just feel a little bit more comfortable with. That Anubis, though, is a little bit of a curveball coming through, where at the very least for Egypt, if they're picking into that, they've got to have an idea. You can't pick in towards Anubis without at least the proper executes and the understanding of how to come in towards this. So I think for me, that is really where I'm going to look and say, what have Algeria got for us?
Yeah, I think that's super fair. It's definitely, I think, technically like a more complicated map. Probably a map that also has a lot left to be figured out. So, sure. There's a chance that if you've been studying up and you've got some new trick that no one else has seen before, maybe you could drop it here for the first time and move on in the qualifier. That'd be great news. I was looking at Wikipedia, because that's where I get all my information nowadays. It turns out, do you know Algeria is the largest African country according to Yeah, and apparently 10th largest in the world. So that really shocked me. I said this before we came on camera as well. It's like a completely ignorant person. I had no like internal good feeling of like how big Algeria was. Like I obviously knew where it was on the map. I just had no feeling like how deep it actually goes in Africa. So that's crazy. That's one of the things I do like about this whole. It's a chance for me just selfishly to get to learn about places that I don't necessarily know that much about, and I have like a good reason to figure it out. So that's exciting. I hope we've got some Algerian fans watching that are proud to be, and some Egyptian fans too. Hope you guys are cheering for your teams. That's definitely part of this. That's going to be fun.
Do you know what the smallest African country is?
The smallest African country, my God.
Yeah. I'll give you a
it's
hint.
gonna be like one of those like right off the nose of it, like next to Nigeria or something. There are some pretty small countries.
I'll give you a hint. It has probably the coolest flag. Not even just in Africa, probably maybe in the world.
Maybe in the world. That's I don't know. Like because there are some countries that are like along the like the nose of Africa that are just like these almost like they're just like really deep countries. Like they're not that wide, but they're like super long. But I wish I knew. Is it like
I'll tell you, it
Gambia
is
or something like that?
And it's off the east side of Africa. It's like pretty north of Madagascar.
North of Madagascar.
It's a popular holiday location as well. But I think if you haven't got it now, You might
No,
not know.
I'm not gonna get it. Yeah,
It
tell
is
me.
Seychelles.
I
Seychelles. Apparently, it's
I
absolutely
need to find
gorgeous.
that. All
It's
right.
super East Africa, kind of like Kenya, Tanzania. It's like you just go really out into the sea. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere in the Indian Ocean. I can't lie, but yeah, there you go. Smallest African country.
Oh, damn. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
it is out there.
Okay, so that just so look, I'm looking at Google Pictures. That does look absolutely fantastic. All right, new holiday destination booked in. Good to see. Yeah, I think we're just waiting on some of the teams. Which again, I kind of expect that this is going to be an interesting challenge, like logistically all on its own. Is like finding a common server to play on for something like this.
Sure.
One that everyone can agree on in terms of like the ping times and everything else. I'm sure that's not going to be easy, but we'll trust in the teams to figure it out and kind of get us on the way. Shout out to you guys in Twitch chat. I'm seeing a couple of people. Some people saying, wow, African Counter-Strike. Yeah, that's something that, again, most people will not have experienced yet. So now's your chance. Now you get a chance to see what the local scene is like in Egypt and Algeria for now. We'll bring in some more countries later on. Do you want to, I mean, obviously we don't have a lot of bases to make a strong prediction here, but what would your guess be if you had to guess? Like, which country is going to be better at Counter-Strike?
Do you know what? It's quite tough because I think Egypt, they have actually a super, super rich kind of culture for video games. They're very heavy on LAN cafes. They're actually a lot of investment into things like that. So I would assume that Egypt plays a fairly decent amount. However, just in terms of pure name value, Lamdacore's, he qualified to the RMR, and he, unfortunately, if it wasn't for visa issues, they would have been there. Xave, I've also casted a while ago. But I can't even remember where, but I know I've casted them before when I was doing my research. So for me, I might actually lean in favor of Team Algeria here, just because Lamdacore qualified to the RMR, but then unfortunately couldn't make it. Xave I've cast in the past before, so there's at least some names here, which is, for me, they're playing to some degree kind of international Counter-Strike, but the only thing that always in the back of my mind is that Egypt, they have a very rich culture for video games. They love video games. They love playing them. They love their LAN cafes as well. So at the very least, if these guys have come through an Egyptian qualifier, they should have a very decent understanding of kind of how to approach this and kind of where to be. I mean, they should be a very decent team because I'm sure there's a fairly decent amount of Counter-Strike action over in Egypt. So yeah, it's tough, but I think I'm going to lean in favor of Algeria.
Okay. Name value potentially beating out some of the culture a little bit there. I do like that. That's something that I miss, like the LAN cafe culture. It was in Denmark too, but it just died when everyone kind of got PCs at home. Like that became such a popular thing. But it kind of sucks because it was such a cool thing to like go with your mates to the to the LAN cafe and just hang out for like 8 hours in a row. That was always an enjoyable experience. So, but yeah, that is the kind of thing that makes it like for a strong foundation. Obviously, we've seen that in somewhere like Korea as well.
Sure.
How much of a difference it can make to have like that kind of like local community. So maybe that's gonna power through today. I guess we'll find out once we get there.
The best, probably the only time I've actually played in a LAN cafe was actually in Denmark. Funny enough.
Oh, really? Okay.
In the Red Bull, like Copenhagen, I don't even know what you call it. Like it's like a little LAN cafe. It's not a little. It's pretty big. But it's like a big LAN cafe in the center of Copenhagen.
All right. So it's still alive in there.
It's still thriving.
Nice.
It's very fancy though. In all fairness, it's not like you think LAN cafe and you think small and quaint, but it's pretty swanky. They're not a big thing in the UK, sadly. We keep having LAN cafes open, they try, and then within a year they shut down. And we just seen like one of the more popular ones, or quote unquote more popular ones in the UK, just go under. So yeah, it's just not. It's a culture that never got going in the UK, sadly. But what is going is the Counter-Strike. We are ready to go. Egypt taking on Algeria.
Hell yes.
Our first streamed game here of the qualifiers for myself and Anders, so we are very, very much looking forward to this. Egypt, of course, they'll be starting on that T side. Algeria starting on the T side. Anubis is where we kickstart things. I'm looking forward to this. They're flooding in towards me.
Yeah, they're not slowing this one down, are they? It's Lamdacore at the start of it, taking down Alone and Wesso to begin with. Just the dualies left in here. We're going to need a lot more headshots for this to work out. And oh my god, he's getting them. Bingo with 3 kills just like that. And the round is back on again. They're going to get the bomb planted, but at least it's winnable now for Egypt. There's a chance.
Oh my. Lamdacore. 3 to his name already. First contact can be taken here. And as Rizo falls, now it's Lamdacore who's required an ace clutch in the 1v2. Smoke on towards the bomb. for the fight as well. Landakor gets his head ripped off by Fane, and it is Egypt to kickstart things. What a wild round of Counter-Strike to find things here. And actually that round, for me at least, for Egypt, is one off the back of Bingo getting 3. How he even gets more than 1 in that situation is wild. Great individual work with the Julies. Icing the fight brilliantly. And he takes them as they come. Really great work.
That is so quick with the dualies. Yeah, they weren't even really necessarily that hesitant coming in on the T side, right? They were being pretty speedy, but it just wasn't enough. At least they got the bomb planted, so that'll help them out. We do have the Mac 10s coming out, and obviously the 1 AK there on Landakor, so he might be our player to watch. They've certainly given him the big weapon. Oh, and lushing right down. I like this aggression on the CT side. I think that's a nice way to take some control at the beginning.
Same will be caught, so will need Hal, but the call gets 1 for a second, but he's just swung upon by 2. Like a deer in headlights, just didn't know where to look. No matter moments, Rizo, unfortunately, left all alone. Egypt is looking like a 2-0 start, but not without at least a little bit of conflict on the tail end and maybe a little bit more money in the back pocket.
Yeah, I mean, it all adds up, so try and see if you can get 1 more in there, even if he's kind of low on health. No bomb plan in this round, though, so I think either way, they're going to have to maybe sit it out a little bit. Ooh, Wezo is making quite a bit of noise falling back from that position. That's super dangerous. Looks like he's going to be fine for the moment. You could see Rizo's up looking and wondering, where on earth did he go? All right, the timing is going to be with him. I said no bomb plant, but there actually is a way to do it now, so that's a huge success. 3 kills in a bomb plant so far. Molotov to slow them down even, so you have to assume that he's probably going to go down here. It's unlikely he could do much more with the Mac 10. Yeah, he's going to get killed, but that's expected. It will be another round for Egypt, but you know what? It's an expensive one, so well done on the Algerian side.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Getting a bomb plan of that, at the very least, actually could even facilitate a reinvestment if they want. Question, of course, of will they? I feel like maybe, I mean, there's 2 minds here. You can buy in because you're getting so close to these similar sort of buys. You can get the Gleals out, Ryzen going towards an AK-47. It's a feasible kind of conversation to have. Or you half buy, kind of reset the economy here, and then buy back in towards the next. I'll have to take a look and see. But, you know, the man I highlighted, Landakor, he's actually looking pretty scary so far off the rip. I mean, he's been ripping a couple of heads. So Egypt have got to find a way to try and shut him down individually. It looks like they're going to hero AK this in the hands of Rizo. And Donnie will pick himself up a scout. Okay, so they are investing a little bit. That's kind of interesting, even with the loss bonus. But yeah, I guess they want to apply some pressure early on, and they certainly are. Landakor is back. You did highlight him at the beginning. Oh, he's just going to steal the M4. Nobody there to stop him. He's ready for another fight, and that's an M4 on the... Or, sorry, no, that's an MP9 on the other side. So you maybe want to be a little bit careful with that one. Yeah, you could see he wants to do something here, Wezo, but he also realizes it's really risky. All right, so we've definitely got 1 player on the server who's like stealing all the eyes right now. That's pretty sick. It's a good story, right? So also, that's a really nice peek, taking down Bingo. He kind of recognized that tiny little gap on the CT side there. And alone, well, that's exactly what he is in the middle at the moment. And he might be in some trouble here. He will take a kill. B2K taking down Rizo as well. And suddenly we're in a 2-on-3, but how much more can he get done? Yeah, he's been discovered. He knows exactly where he is. Hello. He's going to come over towards Carpet, and he will do a decent chunk of damage, but he will get his kill towards X-Nate. Double stack as they swing in through. Need Hal going to get 1, and he just about gets out of dodge as well. Oh. Now 1v2. They know where B2K is, so this is a doable situation. The question is, do they plant here? Yeah, they will. Or I was going to say, do they go for that full rotate and wrap all the way around? They're going to plant, and that's a tough retake. But the advantage is he has HP, and he has a kit, a bit of util as well. Molotov in towards heaven. 1 playing back donut. Just waiting for the swing. He's making a lot of noise. Should you be able to 3-2-1 this, and Landakor going to see it off as well. Continues his triumphant run as he gets yet another kill to his name. 7-2 he started this game, and Algeria will find their first round. Yeah, that is really, really dominant. And again, because they did so much damage in some of these earlier rounds, there's going to be a wacky round coming out, I think, from the Egyptian side at the moment here. We've got 3 MP9s, some pistols being added to it, but it's not going to be much more than that. Great fights, really, I think, for the T side here. Obviously, with the bomb almost not making it to the bomb site, that could have been really awkward, but, you know, they got the job done at the end. So the early force-ups, the early buys coming up from Algeria are going to be pretty much paying off at the moment.
AKs are coming out now for the T side. So now they're going to be in a really great position. We'll see if it feels like they have, even if they lost the early couple of rounds here, it feels like they're well in control, Algeria, for the minute.
Yeah, that's true. Making a move here. Ex-Navy wants to try and start things off. It's Eagle on the other side as Bingo. He's posted. Needhal. Going dry here, not to put their way around, but he will find Bingo's head. Nice shot. He comes over. I think they're just going to respect that. If you're Egypt, you want to overfight here against the AKs. I don't think so, as Needhal will get it yet another. What a find for him. Backside. Ex-Navy will deliver, and that's probably the round done and dusted right there. I think if you're the two MP9s, you kind of just got to save.
Not gonna lie, they look kind of lethal, Algeria, at the moment. I gotta say, I feel like they are, not even just slammed the core that we highlighted at the beginning, but just individually, they look like they know what they're doing here. They're taking some really reasonable fights, and they're also sticking together as teams in the middle. It's not just one person walking in. So overall, I would say it's a pretty good look for the minute here. And it's never a good time when you're stuck on the CT side saving an MP9. That just always feels kind of bad. Looks like they might not get to save anything at all here. All right, one kill, but the rest are hunting him down, and he's definitely going to be dead here. So well done, and the scoreline's going to be tied up rather early on.
Ah, well, you all, and actually just the guns have come out, and Algeria just look just a little bit scarier. Is not a bad spot that they put themselves in. There will be a no-buy coming through for Egypt. One flash. I mean, even getting upgrades of pistols actually puts them in a somewhat slightly vulnerable spot in terms of the recon. So they kind of can't afford to do so. Yeah, we just have the one pop flash. And they're just going to group up. Looks like they're going to pop in by a mid, but kind of already now under a lot of pressure. Molly's both ways, and the Nate could do a huge chunk here. Oh my god, it's a massacre in by a mid as Ex-Nave and Needhal combine just like that. Left down to one, and he's already a dead man walking. Very quick round.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but obviously when they're throwing Molotovs and grenades at you, you know you're not going to be surprising anyone in there. So fairly devastating. I'm keeping one eye on Twitch chat as well. I'm seeing in here people saying like, let's go Egypt. I'm seeing let's go with the Algerian flag. So, we've got the flags being dropped in. We've got people, fighting in Twitch chat. It's good. I think that's, again, it's one of the enjoyable aspects of it. You get to show up and root for your country, which again, normally maybe you don't get much of a chance to do in the Counter-Strike space. So, yeah, good to see you guys on Twitch chat. And maybe even over at YouTube, or if it's being broadcasted too. Hopefully you guys are having a good time there as well. It's going to be a 6th round coming up here, and finally some more rifles have come out. I do love this. They did it earlier. I think these aggressive CT pushes on Anubis have just become much more viable than they were at the beginning, and it's fun to see.
So, it goes a little quiet back at the initial contact, but yeah, like you said, I mean, decent positions gained here by Egypt. Loading on the corner swing and finds a lovely little crossfire. Load and Bingo working together. Needhal will get one, but FaZe will re-peek in for a double. Oh, make that 3. Beautiful stuff. That round is put to bed very quickly, as now Donny's left all alone in a 1v4, and this one is probably a non-starter.
That's a really nice sequence from FaZe. It's awesome to see the timing with him peeking in after the sort of the mid fight has really been engaged, because you can just tell that on the Algerian side they're walking in, all of their attention is somewhere else. They're not really looking at that angle any longer, and he just steps out. I mean, the third kill obviously was he was just feeling it at that point in time. Probably not necessary for the round to go for another fight there, but if you've got a hot hand, it's hard not to do it. It's Dodie on his own, and again, best you can probably do is try and do a little bit of damage. You only got about 20 seconds left. You're definitely not going to be winning the round here, but yeah, if you can get another couple of kills. So he's sort of faking the flashbang, making a bit of noise, running back and forth. He's hoping that someone's going to peek him, but they're being fairly disciplined on the other side. I think they're fading seconds here. They're going to try and go for the hunt, and he was not quite ready. So great round out of Egypt.
Yeah, not bad. This is a back and forth game. Sometimes we can come in towards these sort of matchups, especially when it's the early part of a qualifier, and actually maybe it's a little bit one-sided, seeding and all the rest. They can be a bit of a massacre. This is anything but. Very good kind of back and forth Counter-Strike, and so far, so good. 3-all. And a nice aggro position taken there by Egypt, which gives them just so much to work with. Now Algeria needs to figure out a way to kind of deny Egypt taking that early control. They've got to pug them for it in the early part of this. Orp going to come out here. Or X-Nate. I think the Sing, he has the advantage at range.
Certainly. Although the smoke and the spam right through is going to take him down. They continue on the aggression. Bingo getting a couple of huge shots. Egypt are absolutely doing work at the start of this round. If they can get one more in here, it's really going to hurt the economy on the T side. Now, they still have a lot of money on Lambda Core there with about 6,000, but yeah, it's going to be painful. B2K, he's aware that someone could have made their way through, but it's going to be a double peak, and you're not usually going to win that second fight. So Nidal's going to be coming in with a good shot there, and we're right back into a 2 versus 3, which is winnable here. Bingo's very low on health.
It is. This is a doable affair. Nidal gonna move, and he will find FaZe. That's massive. Now it's a 2 versus 2. And how low Bingo is, this round's absolutely on. Nidal's got the space, but it's Dotty with the bomb who needs to get down to a plant. Smoke will come down as well. This will allow it. One comes through with just under a minute on the clock to work with. Now onto the retake of Egypt, and we look towards it. Pop flashing via main. And they're going to play a nice passive position via heaven. One going to hold for that rotate coming through. And they're sticking together here, Algeria, which I don't hate. Hoping that they can kind of utilize this in their favor. It's a contact play for Egypt. They've got one flash. They've got a kit. So it's not exactly out of the realm as a possibility, but they've got to be crisp here. Of how low Bingo is, there's no room for error. Looks like Bingo's going to be first contact. Swing corner. Down goes Bingo. He will take a dink for it. Doddy gets caught here by alone. Another tap on towards the bomb, but it's not a stick as Nidal just bides his time. Swing and a find. And it will be Algeria converting the postman. These rounds are close.
Yeah, that's a lot of action to start this game with. I've got to say, I thought it was looking a little bit more one-sided at one point here, but good to see different players really getting into the mix of things here. Alone. Yeah, just didn't quite have the time to play around with it. Didn't have the smoke to put on the bomb either. So, we're in a 4-3 with Algeria taking a slight lead. But I think more importantly, the economics are on their side. So Egypt, they're going to have to sit it out with just some pistols upgraded, which is going to be fine. Hopefully they could do a little bit of damage at the very least with some of the deagles that they've got in the round. They didn't really make it happen earlier with the flashbang and the attempt in the middle. They kind of got shut down. Well, it looks like they are checking out the A-bomb side. They might find an empty A-bomb side right off the bat here. I think it's Lambda Core out there doing some research. Corner,
X-Nate Nidal on a piece. The Deagle, he's trying to keep things a little fresh. But on the reload, should be caught. And speaking of a reload, Nidal forced into one. And that cost him his life. But Dotty catches Bingo picking up an AK. I mean, what is happening? Back and forth here, but alone. Low HP. Now that he's got an AK, it's technically possible because he's also got the bomb as well.
Yeah, it's doable. Alone. Just a little bit far away, but the fact that the bomb is down in the middle, I mean, there's a way you can screw this up for sure. They're waiting quite patiently. I understand why, if you're on the Algerian side here, you don't want to make a big mistake. You don't want to walk into the one player that's still left. Even if he's low on health, again, all he needs is a bit of timing. He certainly heard Rizo in the middle, but not quite sure where to go with it. All right, he's too far away to hit the drop down, but he still might be picking the right bomb side. They might walk right into him here now. That's an interesting line to take, but yeah, they're going to be walking around the corner. Rizo surely dead, and now the game is back on again here. 17 seconds left.
They've got to commit. They have to fight. Oh my god, Alone's going to win it. That's a 1v2 converted with 4 points of HP. And a crisp couple of taps at the tail end. Oh my god, this game continues to deliver back and forth. We are on for something. That is a masterful round taken by Egypt. And Alone, individual brilliance. Take a bow. On a pretty decent game as well. 9 kills for him.
Yeah,
this is sick.
That's quite something, right? Like, you put yourself in a position like that, you know that you have to just be able to hit that headshot when Lambda Core comes around the corner. There's no long fight happening. It's just straight headshot or you're going to be dead. So, impressive work. And it'll tie up the game once again. They absolutely needed that round. Now they're into a double AWP setup on the CT side. Not something we see that often on Anubis, but we'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah, they've got at least something to work with here. Sort of a feasible buy for Algeria, but a lot of onus on the double AKs here. Nidal and Lambda Core. Got to really get active. 1 minute 10 on the clock, and just saying, BTK can get very active out via main. So They got a lot of information. He'll continue wrapping through. However, he now needs a double. Bakalo's going to get a double, though, which is huge. And they might not expect B2K out via mine. He can probably deny the plant here. And he will. Huge.
Ooh. Yeah, what a position to find yourself in. And now they want to plant on the other side, but they're just so wrapped up on here. They're boxed into the bomb side. They're going to get the bomb planted, but I don't think there's any good way out. It's Wezo showing up and taking care of business. I think either way, yeah, once they lost that fight at main with B2K coming in, just denying the first bomb plant, the round was probably always going to be over there. So, wow, no one's getting away with much here. Like, they're just trading rounds back and forth. It's one of those Counter-Strike games where that happens. So, Egypt are going to be the one-round lead now, but we'll see for how long.
Yeah, this game, he is going back and forth. And at least we get an even one here to kickstart our day. Not bad. 5-4. Bomb plant is, you know, it's okay in terms of, yes, Algeria can maybe work with this a little bit, but they can't overly invest. Not enough because they haven't built up the loss bonus. Can't really afford to force. 2 Tech 9s. 1 Mac 10. And a bit of hope and prayer, in all honesty. Once again, Algeria, they'd love a bomb plant here, but I think anything more feels pretty much out of the realms of possibility. Yeah,
it's been a while since we've seen some really good Tech 9 rushes. Obviously, at one point, mainstay of the Counter-Strike space, but I feel like nowadays, it's just a lot harder to make them work. But they're still great pistols. I just don't, you know, you don't see the 4 or 5 man Tech 9 buy-up with the rush down. I miss it. They were crazy rounds to cast, so it wouldn't be sad if they made a bit of a return. Yes, they're close to it. Like, all they need is like maybe a good smoke to set it up. They're going to be throwing that in right now, and Alone just holding the corner. Nicely done though. The Mac 10, the 1 Mac 10 on the other side is taken down Alone, and now the pressure is on for B2K as he's in the back of the bomb site here. Just stay alive, wait until the teammates show up. All right, it's a little bit sketchy to begin with, and he does get traded. AWP now retaking with a double ult. It could be kind of wacky. You don't really know if it's going to be working out.
Oh, bomb going to go down here. Molotov onto his back plat. Doesn't do anything. Waiting for the chance to swing out here. Wes has got to lead the charge, so he's got to get Nidal. It's a little delayed with spray, but going to get the kill nonetheless. Nidal, 1v2. Spots both now, and he knows. Double ult, though. The retake is not easy, but Bingo will see it off. Egypt, risky double ult retake, but it does work. They hit their shot, and nice and simply, that'll be Egypt. Guarantee at the bare minimum a tied game at the turn and a half, which is really good to see on the T-side of Anubis, considering we kind of regard this as probably the most T-sided map in the pool.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like, if you analyze it through that lens, and I think it's worth doing, yeah, they're doing a fine job right now. You're right, though. Retaking double ult, super risky. He did only have 9 bullets at the end, didn't get a chance to reload, so probably hard anyway for Nidal to do too much. But good job. 6-4. They did allow for the bomb to go down, so there's going to be a little bit more money to work with on the Algerian side. But yeah, there's finally a real lead building here for the Egyptian side, so they're going to have some more money to work with. A couple of rounds ahead. Can't really complain too much.
Yeah, nope, off the back of a pause, we head on the way in towards what is pretty important round for Algeria. Lose this one here, and not only, you know, we're talking about Egypt doing pretty well, guaranteeing at the bare minimum a tied game, but this could spiral very rapidly from being, you know, a 6-4 where there's still room to work with for Algeria to actually quite rapidly going towards 8. You lose this, you don't get a bomb plant. Algeria don't have a buy, or they're going to struggle to buy in towards the last. They maybe, you know, Galil's, Mac 10s, that sort of a vibe. On an easy spot they put themselves in, so weird enough, from what we've seen thus far this game, this is actually the most important round for Algeria. Lose this, and they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, this is this could easily be the pivotal round, you're right. That's really close with the AWP. There's any kind of a plan B. Yes, there is. Fight to the death, apparently. That's wild. Bingo. He was always going to be stuck in that fight. So I appreciate the fact that he just went back and tried to go for it. Although, what a grenade being thrown out. Nidal coming in with a bit of a shot there as Wezo does go down. Lamp the core again, quite solid. We'll open it up. Let's take down B2K. That's going to be a bomb plant as well. Looks like Algeria on to win this round. Might even save for Egypt. Some of them don't have that much money in the bank, so it might be worth saving some of these rifles. But they're still kind of going for it. They're still at least in the area. That's very bold.
Yeah, trying to find a bit of an opener. Molotov going to come over towards main. could give them a airburst. That's unfortunate. If it had made it over, there was maybe a world swing on the corner. Lambda Core should have been dead, but he's not. How he's got away with that, I do not know. Nice shot from FaZe. The fact that he's sticking around is bold because he will fall. That actually will mean an AWP saved over for Algeria, which they'll take. The most important round thus far, like we said, 1 out, AWP saved is huge. And it will mean that, at the very least, Algeria have given themselves scope to work with in towards the final round of the half. But 6-5, a very good game of Counter-Strike thus far.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like putting pressure on the A-bomb side is the way to go. I feel like they're able to catch some of those A anchors out a little bit more. Especially with Lambda Core just kind of sneaking in, like doing some entry work over on that side. That seems to be a pretty viable choice at the moment. It's B2K started to push out. Deep grenade. It lands on 2 more players, although they're getting a lot back in return. Raizo landing a shot. There's still a 3rd player at the bomb side. I think they know as well, so they should be able to read what the setup is like. Although they do walk Lambda Core straight into the AWP. FaZe on that side waiting. So I think he was trying to do the same thing he's been doing all along, which is like sneak onto the A-bomb site. Oh, Nidal, this is surely going to be a kill. Yeah, easy enough flick to take down FaZe.
Yeah, love it. Nice little flick up there. Yeah, not going to say no. Bingo. This is risky. Oh my god, that's such a risky peek, and it works brilliantly. Raizo gets his head ripped off. The 2-tap Tony. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Now, Xnave and Nidal, I mean, they're actually gone from what felt like a very strong position to actually they have no information what the setup's looking like for the CT side, and look a little flustered.
Yeah, they need to connect somehow. Gotta say, I mean, Nidal over on that side is... He's actually faking it. They're walking right into it. This is a bit of a disaster. That means the bomb is going to be alone. At least there wasn't the bomb being found here, but still... Yeah, Xnave, he's just going to have to run for it now. 30 seconds left. Hope that no one is in dark to hear him, because that would kind of spoil his plans. But you know what? He's actually going to get the bomb planted. Oh, if they walk to the A-bomb side now... Oh, okay. Are they going to go back and check? Yeah, good job on Bingo to absolutely make sure. You can tell they almost walked A, and they would have probably lost the round behind it. But nice shot. Well done. And that's going to finish the first half with Egypt with a 7-5 lead here. So 2-round lead overall. That's pretty good. I mean, you'll take that on the CT side.
Yeah, has to be said. Not a bad game of Counter-Strike thus far. A couple of individuals really making a name for themselves early. Over towards Egypt, you got Bingo, you got Alone with 15 and 14 kills respectively. On the other side for Algeria, Nidal 16. Lambda Core, he's actually started really well, but he did cool off. He was 7-2 at one point, finishing the half with 10. But a 7-5 lead is very good for Egypt. At the very least now, going to give themselves just a little bit to work with. It's their map pick. They've got that advantage. They've had a pistol here. They're going to put a lot of confidence in their stride. If Algeria find it, however, game absolutely back on. They found a pistol here, more or less would allow them a very confident run towards tying this up 7 apiece. And before you know it, absolutely anybody's game.
Yeah, you're right. Definitely going to need to be an important pistol around this one. Raizo started to move back a little bit. I do like this. I like the disengagement of the pistol round. Sometimes it used to be so much better to just escape from the fight rather than just, you know, go down on your own. Slammed the core with a good headshot, but FaZe might have been an even better one in return. It's going to give them the bomb plant for sure. And they have B2K, who's kind of lingering on the outside of the bomb site. So he knows that no one's retaking from that side. And they're actually fighting to the death. There's so many bullets in the Glock. Cody trying to see if he can make his way out. And he will get the headshot coming back on FaZe. That's pretty good. But remember, that bomb is planted rather quickly. And they're running out of time here on the CT side. And running out of players as well. Wezo with a beautiful round here. 3 kills to his name.
Not bad. Not bad at all. 8-5. And that's a huge round to be taken for Egypt. And I think if you're Algeria here, you've got a bit of a tough decision. Do you force him towards this and try and answer back? Which I'm not a huge fan of personally. I think the way to go about this, low buy here, have the guns out, and that's where the rounds are being competitive. And you kind of have to reluctantly gift the lead to Egypt. That's what they're going to do. A little bit of an investment with the upgraded pistols, but nothing too drastic. And it will be Egypt probably getting a 9th here, which is it's a pretty healthy lead. Probably the healthiest lead we've seen basically all game.
Yeah, it's looking really, really good at the moment. I'm noticing that there are some people in Twitch chat as well who are saying like Bingo is carrying the game at the moment. So, you know, I don't know if that's like a... You know, it's hard to say who they're a fan of, but let's presume that they are a fan of Bingo. Like they're onto something. He's doing really well at the moment. 16-9. I don't know if he's carrying the game alone, because funnily enough, Alone is also doing quite well with 14-11 there. But Yeah, I don't know, like bingo, the unlikely hero at the moment for the Egyptian side. That's pretty cool. 3-round lead, and now they're up against the Eagles, and they should be able to do some work in this round. It's B2K coming up with a kill on X-Nave, and they get a bit of a sense that it's the second player on the bomb side. Might not expect a third though, so that could be a bit of a nasty surprise if they don't check the bomb side.
True. Hello. Drop a nade towards main. Trying to set a ruse here to drag over any rotation, but it's not happening. I mean, for Algeria, you've got to gamble here, and the gamble so far, I'm going to say looks correct, but that was until Alone pushed all the way through sight. Good kind of mid-round adjustment there from Egypt. They're going to pull away. And yeah, Alone going to continue wrapping all the way in the back lines. He might even be able to catch people in transition too, which is huge. So money in the bank could be good here for the Mac 10. Algeria do get over, but not in time to stop the cross on towards the site or stop, you know, momentarily this bomb plant going down. Here's that Mac 10 getting active. 1 kill to his name. That's money in the back pocket. Anymore for anymore is good. Oh, and he's farming cash. Great little kill bonus coming through for a load. And he basically single-handedly wins that round. Drops a nade in towards main. And here's no response. Nobody runs away. Nobody fights him. And then he gets just a little curious, a little inquisitive. Looks on towards the side. Nothing shows up. He realizes, lads, there's no one here. Rotate over.
Let's go. That's such a great way to win a round. Like, you don't risk that much. You're not in a hurry either, and like you said, you get a bunch of Mac 10 kills. You can even carry on over into this round, because as far as I can tell, there's at least 2 players there without any helmets on. So X-Nave and Dodie are not going to have any real helmets to work with. So the Mac 10 can even do even more work. Oh, we did have a player drop, it seems. So at least it's at the start of the round, which is always good news. It means they should be able to reset everything. But yeah, this is a big question coming into it. Like, you know, is it possible to find a server that's going to be comfortable for everyone? Maybe B2K running into, you know, a little bit of an internet problem. It'll happen. I expected it. I'm surprised there hasn't been more of it.
Yeah, no, exactly that. Exactly that. So far, honestly, pretty smooth. So I think we're kind of deserving of at least one to come through. But it gives us time to kind of discuss the ramifications of these next couple of rounds, because it really is kind of make or break territory now for Algeria. This game has been really close, but if Egypt win this next gun round and they win it cleanly as well, there's 10 locked in there. Probably the 11th comes through already. And we're talking about Algeria basically having one more buy round off the back of this to try and deny. I mean, already it is a tough old spot that they kind of put themselves in. And for those who actually aren't watching the game and maybe just see this on paper, see it on Wikipedia or whatever, and see, you know, there's a real chance this could end, especially with how things look at the moment, 13-5 or 6, something along those lines. They'll think, you know, stomp coming through for Egypt, but it hasn't felt like a stomp in the game. These rounds have been close. So this is the big thing for me, that for Algeria, this next round here feels like it's for all the marbles. You lose it, and Egypt not only get a 10th, but they basically get gifted the 11th too.
Yeah, I agree. Like that is kind of how this is shaping up at the moment. Like they're in a tight spot right now, which is surprising to me given how this all started out. Like it just looked like they were a solid team right at the beginning. I'm not saying they're not, but definitely Egypt has come out as the heavier team at the moment here, with Bingo doing well, Alone also playing very well, but the rest of them are not that far behind, right? We've seen the individual, I would say, moments of brilliance from FaZe, like he had that sick 3K on the CT side, coming out of the A-bomb side. So generally speaking, like they seem like a well-rounded team. And we talked about it a bit of the beginning, like with the culture of like LAN cafes in Egypt and sort of like all of that local esports support. So, you know, maybe that is carrying through. It is a team game after all. You don't need just 1 or 2 superstars. It's, you know, preferably to make everyone work together. That's nice.
Yeah, exactly that. Well, we're waiting for B2K. Hopefully we get him in as soon as.
Yeah, well, just to people are asking in the chat, right? This is the first map of the best of 3. Second map is going to be on Mirage, and the third is on Inferno if we get there. Just so you guys are aware. So, yeah, it's the first of 2 best of 3s today. We've got more action coming up a little bit later in the day. We've got Egypt versus Nigeria, I believe. That's the second match of the day. So we're going to get to see Egypt play again, which is great news. Now we know more about them than we did about half an hour ago.
It's true. Very, very true. Holding and waiting. It's an issue for now. I know I've covered a couple of other games. I've done Crossfire. I don't know if you know Crossfire, Anders?
I know Crossfire, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, very similar in terms of the look and style of it, kind of to old 1.6 and Source, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Super popular in Egypt. Massive there. They're actually one of the best teams, basically in the entirety of you know, they split it in kind of east and west. That's kind of how. So we go
Okay.
do ours in, you know, Europe or North America. In Crossfire, it's east and west. Simple as that. You either in kind of Asia, basically, which is where the majority of the player base is, or
Okay.
you're the west. So I mean, you know, unfortunately, it means, you know, if you're North America, you're playing like 120 ping or whatever to Europe servers. So they do kind of get screwed a little bit. But what I do know is that Egypt are one of the best countries in that entire game by a long shot. Most of the best teams that come through are actually from Egypt. There's some cool orgs. One of their orgs, one of the best orgs, in fact, is called Anubis, in all fairness, and they're pretty damn cool. But yeah, it's one of those where Egypt are really popular. I got a chance to speak to them, and they were saying it's because of two reasons in particular: A, massive LAN cafe culture, and B, being these days their PCs actually struggle to run Counter-Strike, some of those PCs. So Crossfire is just a little bit easier on the hardware, which is why a lot of people kind of lent in towards that. We do have B2K back in though, which is good.
Great, good job. That's surprising. I always thought of Crossfire as being like a very Asian centric game. Like that's just like what I remember people saying. Like people, because there's a big discussion at the start of like CS:GO. People say like, oh, you're never gonna get like Counter-Strike anywhere because people are playing Crossfire instead in that part of the world. So I always thought like, well, doesn't it just mean they like FPS games? But you're right. Like the hardware issue is definitely very real. You know, most people I think are struggling to run CS2 in a reasonable fashion. So well, hopefully we can upgrade that over time. That'd be sick to you know, if people love FPS games, they can be converted from one FPS to another. That's how I think about it.
True.
You know? Get them all to play Counter-Strike, but maybe not right now. 9-5 is the scoreline. Shout out to B2K for fixing the issues rather quickly. We do appreciate that. And we are off to the races once again. Egypt in a leading position. They're on the more favorite side now. They seem to be playing a little bit better than Algeria for the minute. Yeah, the pressure is on.
Well, let's take a look and see. We've already built up about kind of the narrative of this round. It is very much in that make or break territory for Algeria. Lose this and they're in a lot of trouble. XA going to get active here. Pop around the corner. The Molotov, they can actually get out in front of this. At the very least, they've taken good control and very little downside to it. They're not going to overextend. They're going to stick around for a little bit, show some presence, and then fall back.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, it puts the T's on edge. You can kind of tell that what it's doing at the moment is wasting a lot of their time, where they're just kind of like, they're sat outside of the B bomb site. They're not quite sure how many CTs are pushed up, if any. We can obviously tell on the minimap that they've already fallen back into the bomb site. So right now, it's just running the clock down, which is kind of half the thing you're trying to do on the CT side anyway. So yeah, keep it up. They don't have almost any utility either. So it's not like there's a smoke or anything holding Egypt back at the moment. It is just the potential threat of the aggressive CTs that they're kind of waiting for right now. Molotov goes down. That was the last Molotov on the CT side there towards Dark. So now all they have is a single flashbang. Kind of hard to win around like this. Egypt, though, look at how much time is already off the clock. They're down to 30 seconds here now. This is starting to get pretty tricky. I think it's Lamp that caught alone at the A bomb site. Ooh, is he disconnected again? Yeah, all right. He's actually disconnected while still being on, so he's kind of a ghost on the server. I don't think I've seen that before. That's wild. 17 seconds here, but let's see if they can take over the A bomb site anyway. Yeah,
they're leaving this very late. No two ways about it. But 10 seconds, they're probably going to get a bomb plant here, which at least is very good. First fight getting another way of face, but he's instantaneously traded. A 2v4 turn 3. One more foul. Oh, hang on. Bingo is on for a round, but he can't quite do it. Just like that, it will be Algeria converting. Egypt get a bomb plant, which is good for the finances. But Algeria, that was a must-win scenario. And they do. So all in all, we're pretty damn happy with it. So you have to look at this as well and say, our chance opening back up for Algeria in the gun round. They set the tone. They get a good retake. That's good for them. But a little bit of fortune, I guess you could say. B2K dropping out. Apparently, unfortunately, has a little bit of electricity issues. Nothing you can really do about it. But he is back in pretty immediately, so you'll have to see it. Yeah, that's at least something. It always is unfortunate when people disconnect in the middle of a round. It's not sure what we can do about it. Like, there's no fix for that, unfortunately. So you just have to live with it. The nature of playing Counter-Strike online sometimes will happen. A 9-6 scoreline as we do move into round number 16 here. And we do have the AWP on phase. They can't afford one yet on the Algerian side, so they're going to be left wanting for that. But they have a little bit more utility this time on the CT side. Not a lot. It still was an expensive round, that last one. So could be in a similar position where you kind of run out of grenades around the minute mark. And that
That's never fun on the CT side.
No. Dotty, backside. Little crossfire as well. If they're going to rotate over too, but that bomb looks like it wants to head towards the other side. You got to be a little careful here. Still holding. Will be at least a bit of contact. If Ryzer can get a freebie of a kill here, that could be something. Bot flash in the corner. Very, very good bot flash as well. And a freebie of a kill as B2K gets caught. Nothing he can do in that situation. Lambda core, very aggro angle, playing in the open, and he's going to get one. Nearly a second too.
It's not a bad start here to the round. Oh, bingo. What a shot to take down Xnave. Right back into a 3 versus 3. AWP back here, and I think a little bit of a failed jump there for FaZe, or an accidental jump. Didn't really mean to do that. Nice grenade. Bingo almost catching the mid-air. My God, he's let loose on the bomb site. And now it's a 1 versus 1. Bomb ticking, but plenty of time here for Nidal if he can actually find the kill. Did he escape? Oh, he's trying to, yeah, be up on top there. Tapping the bomb once, but he's been found. Nice shot, and even without the kit here, he's going to have enough time for it. So, well played. Good 1 versus 1, but I thought for a minute there Bingo was going to save the whole round.
Yeah, nearly a chance. Nearly a chance. He goes for a little bit of an aggro angle, trying to play above that smoke to spot any information. It's not to be. Algeria now made this a 2-round game, but of course, again, they're winning these gun rounds, which is very, very good for their individual confidence. I'm a little concerned. That's ways about it. Egypt letting a couple of these slip through the net. And yes, they got a bomb plan here, but it's not enough to suffice a full buy. So realistically, unless things go really south in this kind of half by eco, quote unquote, we're talking about this being a 1-round game.
Yeah, it's getting that stage at the moment here. MB9 on Ryzo. See if he can farm up some money. They do have Kevlar on 3 players, but it's not a lot. Still, the MP9 should be able to do some decent work. Attempted wallbang. Didn't really catch anyone, but looked like the timing was right for it. He had the right idea at any rate here. Slammed the core, trying to back up his teammates. Oh, wow. He's going to get traded. That should be a bomb plant now. This is a little bit risky. It's allowing for maybe more than Egypt should have been allowed to get away with here. B2K goes down, and Bingo surely soon to follow. Okay, so they're going to be able to reclaim the round, but still 2 casualties and a bomb plant given up there. That's quite a bit.
You take your silver linings every day of the week, realistically. In that round, it was kind of from the get-go. We were talking about that buy being basically a non-starter. Not bad. Not bad, but it is, like we mentioned, that 1-round game. This is absolutely as well game on. And a worrying sign that we are now put into. A little concerned as Egypt, yes, they're finding decent, plays coming through, but they are letting fundamentally what is a pretty healthy lead slip away. Needs to be careful. Needs to be careful indeed. 9-8, back into the investment. Back into the orb as well for Bingo, who has really been lighting up the server in all fairness. 21-12 he finds himself.
Yeah.
There's an orb on the other side too, and Nidal has been no joke himself.
Okay. Some aggressive moves coming out. That is wild. Molotov in as well. This is great pressure being applied. Yeah, it's forcing the CTs to throw out smokes and flashes and probably use a lot more utility than they want at the beginning because they're so worried about losing this part of the map. I like that from Alone. And if you're playing as well as Alone and Bingo are at the moment, you kind of need to have that presence on the map, especially early in the rounds. Make that difference, get onto some of these parts of the maps and put a little bit of pressure on the opponents. That's exactly what you're looking for. More of a passive setup for Algeria so far on the CT side that we saw out of Egypt. So that's an interesting difference here. Alone, that's just too much to handle. And now, looks like they're kind of fighting one at a time, which is not what you want to do. Ryzo is getting a double spray down. And it leaves 1 player left on the Egyptian side as Algeria are looking to tie up the game, make it a 9-9. That was, I think, not as coordinated out of Egypt as you would have wanted to see. They kind of ended up walking in 1 by 1 by 1.
And sadly, I feel like we're getting to a point now as well where for Egypt, especially these last basically 3 rounds, it is showing that I feel like for me, the strat book to the very least is exhausted. And we're now getting to a point of being in a little bit of a worrying state. I mean, 9-all, but Algeria have looked very, very good in this CT side, where for Egypt, it's kind of these constant barrages over towards A, but it's just not quite working. They're in a tough spot. And I am at least a little bit concerned now.
Yeah,
it's tough.
I kind of share that feeling. I'm not gonna lie. I have a similar vibe. It was looking like it was kind of just there for the taking. They had everything they wanted. They had the money. They had everything going their way. And now you got to wonder what's going on. Round number 19. Game is tied up here. Money is in an awful spot for the Egyptian side. We'll see if they can make a recovery or if Algeria are going to sneak it away right at the end. Remember, Egypt has another game to play today, so it kind of sucks if you lose the first one. You're going to go into the second one, maybe not feeling that great, and neither of the three players made the drop down. Nidal's ready for more. Oh my god, B2K coming in, running wild with the Tech 9. I was going to say he was on for the ace there on the CT side, but now dead instead. Rizo is a good position, and he'll get the double, and they will save the round anyway. So a 1-round lead for Algeria, but that could have almost gone completely wrong.
Yeah, true. That really was a little bit dicey. Could have gone south very quickly, diving in there, but need help. Individually, good work from him in terms of getting the initial kind of 3 kills, one by one. If they drop, he plucks them out, and that just gives them at least a man advantage where they can utilize the trade game. 10-9. Algeria, what a response, what a resurgence. At one point, 4 rounds in the hole. Now they find themselves in their favor. Egypt back into a bye, yes, but it's a similar story that we find ourselves in now. It's full buy-in, failure, rinse and repeat, and this is where Algeria have now gifted themselves a lead and a really good opportunity. They find this 11th here. The 11th might spiral in towards a 12th if they deny Egypt getting a bomb plant.
Yeah, I mean, it's on now. There's not a lot of rounds left in this game. Lamp the core, good position. We know he's got the skills for it, but there's going to be a lot of players coming around the corner. He has to get one and survive, or maybe the double on the grenades could not have been better. Yeah, the Molotovs, and as he's trying to escape, they hunt him down. This is brilliant work. Egypt showing a lot right here. That's a hard timing to get right. If you peek too early when the Molotov's thrown, you're going to die to the EWP, and if it's too late, then you're going to allow him to escape and reposition inside of the bomb site. So, expertly played.
Yeah, it's true. It is. Now, I mean, for Algeria, they're kind of stuck out. I don't even think they really have anything to work with in terms of a retake. I'm going to try and have a look in. I mean, they do have kits, so why not give it a go? And they have, of course, plenty of money. Pop flash on the corner, swing low. B2K will fall. They're going to find one of his own as well in response, looking to find more. Wesso tries to double down, and he will. Huge stuff, but I don't think this retake's going to work. Time is too far ticked. Any kills you get on the tail end is nice. Keep the round 2 will be huge, but it's not to be. FaZe will find the last. Nihal gets caught. He survives too. So, 10-all Egypt, the first time in a long time, are finally going to get a T-side round on the board.
Yeah, that was a daring attempt at a retake. Again, maybe wanted to close the game a little bit earlier than he needed to. It's risky. It's cost them a lot here. And like you pointed out, there was just so little time at the end. I don't think there was any way to probably win that round. So, tied up again, 10-10. Wow. And the whole game has been like this. They've just been trying. I think a 2-round lead is like the most that we've had so far. And then they tie up the game once again. So it's I like it. It's competitive. And again, this is the qualifier, right? We're trying to find the best countries to play further on into the tournament here at IESF. So it's good to see that they're battling it out for the for the potential land spot there in Casablanca. That's going to be really interesting. I want to see.
I mean, at least we're getting a competition as well, like a really good competition in this opening map. It's back and forth. There's very, very good understanding of kind of where the weaknesses are in each other's side, and super fun, man. This is sick. And it's absolutely anybody's game. In Algeria, even though they've been winning a large, majority of these rounds, they've been still made pretty expensive. And in doing so, I need to have a double MP9 to work with and a FAMAS in this round, so not exactly the most conclusive of buys. We'll try to stick up close here. MP9 going to hop back on the corner. That is a beautiful pot flash from Nidal. And B2K will be caught. Do they expect the second and the third? The answer is yes, as they fight and they find. Donnie doubles down.
Doesn't really get any better than that, does it? Even the anticipation of the third T trying to rotate in. And the flashbang to begin with, like you pointed out, right in his eyes, just couldn't see a single thing. Bingo and Wezo now left 2 versus 3 here, and a little bit of a slide out. Wezo's going to be down to lamp the core. It's just Bingo left. He's been playing very well. If they keep challenging him, he might just keep knocking him down. Don't give him the chance to win 4 best, like 1 versus 1 here. It's not going to be worth it. Just play as a team. He doesn't have a lot of a chance here, and he's going to get sprayed down eventually. All right, good coordination at the end. This Algeria will take 1 more step towards victory.
Yeah, and that is a big round to be taken. I mean, at least for Egypt, they have the remnants of funds to work with, so they can reinvest in, no issues. But even still, it's a really good round. Algeria coming in, double MP9 and a FAMAS, and then making that work and stick brilliantly. Dotty's 2 kills are so important to kickstart that round, but it's just a really good kind of re-aggress from Algeria. You know, they've seen Egypt be quite aggressive themselves, so they go for a really big, influential kind of inflammation play. It works, and look at the knock-on effect. Egypt, now they come in with a little bit of a shaky one. Double Galil, Mach 10, Tech 9, has to be brought in towards this round. It's a tough old spot to kind of put themselves in. And if they lose this, they could be really in trouble. Not only would that be, you know, Algeria finding map point, also on top of that, it's them having basically no money into potentially what could be the last round.
Yeah, this is a devastating position to find yourselves in, and right now they're being very, very careful on the Egyptian side. You can just tell that they are far back on the map. Some good Molotovs into the middle, but they're not going to be catching Nidal in here. He's in the area, but he's already fallen back. They're still using a lot of their grenades really early on the Algerian side, so they don't have many left. Good flash, though, to set it up, and it's actually a team kill, but he will get the kill in return. Questionable spray here from Rizo, but he is going to get at least the 1 kill before he's traded out, so bomb should be planted. It's a 1-man lead, and the bomb, yeah, there we go. B2K able to take care of business, but they're still very locked in here. An easy kill for Dodi, and I think B2K, surely there's not much you can do in this one. Completely sandwiched in. Oh, and a flashbang on top as well. He's so dead. That's 12 on the side of Algeria.
Yeah, and I mean, there is the one silver lining of saying a bomb plant is going to give you just a little bit more finances to work with for Egypt.
True.
But they are in a tough spot. There's no two ways about it. Buy in, true, but it's Algeria who have looked like the better side on this second half. I mean, the retakes have been pretty successful. It's the early fights that have been going very well for them as well. And tough spot now for Egypt to put themselves in. And, you know, you hate to say it, but to a degree, they've sort of looked like a little bit of a one-trick pony where they only want to hit that one side. They don't want to test at all over towards B. It's only A hits constantly. B has been a bit of a weakness for them, and haven't really felt all too favored with it. But Algeria is still showing a lot of that B presence early. For me, I would be making adjustments, showing, you know, maybe 2 out via mid with quick rotations and 2 over towards A. But no, they're still sticking with like a 3B hold, which is pretty standard. Early fight for Landacourt is good.
Yeah, he's going to keep going forward. He didn't even bother to reload. That is wildly aggressive. Probably not necessary, but well, they got to kill anyway. So 4 versus 3 at the start of the round here. Yeah, you're right. That heavy presence on the B bomb site. I mean, I guess if Egypt don't figure it out and don't adjust accordingly, then maybe you'll find to keep doing it. But it does leave some of the rest of the map a little bit weaker. They still want to be pushing out. This is so crazy. Grenading themselves to a smoke to try and get some information. But you know what? They haven't seen anyone out there. So now they can start to rotate accordingly. They're moving X-Naven in the middle. Still got Nihal alone over at the A-bomb site.
Yeah, you're really quiet here, but in a 3v4, tough old spot. X-Nave, right idea. He's holding for the cross. He might get a swing on timing, and he will, but he gets head ripped off the shoulders. B2K gonna find his, and they're trying to wrap it on towards Rizo. Don't stick around for the fight, my friend. Just fall away. Give them that space, and he will. Because look who's here, ready to meet them and greet them. Dotty on the backside, swing at a 5-for-1. Tonal trade, bomb. Might actually go down here. Might go down. No, it won't. Swing. And a find that's going to be Algeria. Seeing off map number 1. Stealing away Egypt's pick. 13-10.
That is such a high risk play for Dotty at the back of the side there. He could have easily baited his teammate out and just died for nothing, and it would have been a disaster. But you know what? Well played at the end of the day. Got the job done. Everyone's kind of happy with it. That is well played. So we have a winner for the first map. It's Algeria to pick it up. That's pretty damn cool. What a close game it was to begin with on Anubis. I'm surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, we still have potential of a bit of a long series ahead of us. Of course, next map coming through is Mirage, picked by Algeria. So we'll have to see whether they can respond in kind. But for now, we're going to throw this one to a little break. When we are back, map number 2, be on your screens.
Welcome to the IESF World Esports Championship 2024 Roadmap. This year, we're bringing together 130 countries to compete in a tournament that defines champions. These are the game titles that will be the heart of the competition: PUBG Mobile, Dota 2, eFootball, MLBB, and CS2, enriched by 2 female divisions, CS2 Women and MLBB Women. The roadmap is divided into 3 stages. Each stage represents a crucial phase of the championship, starting from the national qualifiers through the regional qualifiers, leading up to the World Esports Championship. Let's take a closer look at each stage and what it includes. In the national qualifiers, athletes within each of the participating countries showcase their skills in their chosen game titles. These competitions, organized by the national federations, are where the best of the best emerge as national champions. The champions from each country then advance to the regional qualifiers, where they will compete against other national champions for a chance to reserve their spot. The regional qualifiers are divided into 4 regions: America, Asia and Oceania, Africa, and Europe. The American Regional Qualifier will be an offline event where 21 countries will compete in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Here is the slot distribution for the American region: PUBG Mobile 2, eFootball 21, CS2 4, Dota 2 3, MLBB 3, CS2 Women 3, and MLBB Women 3. The Asian Regional Qualifier will be an offline event with an online and offline stage, where 41 countries will compete for a slot in China and the World Esports Championship 24. Here is the slot distribution for Asia and Oceania region: PUBG Mobile 6, eFootball 40, CS2 6, Dota 2 6, MLBB 7, CS2 Women 4, and MLBB Women 5. The African Regional Qualifier will be an offline event with an online and offline stage where 22 countries will compete for a slot in Casablanca, Morocco, aspiring to secure their spot in the championship. Here is the slot distribution for the African region per game title: PUBG Mobile 3, eFootball 24, CS2 2, Dota 2 2, MLBB 3, CS2 Women 2, and MLBB Women 2. The European Regional Qualifier will be a fully online event with 43 countries competing remotely. Here is the slot distribution for the European region: PUBG Mobile 5, eFootball 40, CS2 12, Dota 2 5, MLBB 3, CS2 Women 7, and MLBB Women 2. Leading us to the final slot distribution for the 16th World Esports Championship, reserved for the best national team of every region: PUBG Mobile Top 16, eFootball 125 countries, CS2 Top 24 teams, Dota 2 Top 16 teams, MLBB Top 16 teams, CS2 Women Top 16 teams, and MLBB Women Top 12 teams. Now let's dive into the competition structure of each game title, starting from CS2. The competition kicks off with the group stage, featuring 4 groups, each with 6 participants. During the group stage, all teams in the group play against each other, culminating in the top 3 positions advancing to the next stage, known as the knockout stage, played as single elimination. The winner of each group directly proceeds to the quarterfinals of the playoff, while the second and third positions face off in round 1 of the knockout stage. The victor of this match advances to the second phase, where they will face each group's top team. This pattern continues in the knockout stage, with the losing teams eliminated and the winners progressing until they reach the grand final. Dota 2, MLBB, and CS2 Women are using identical tournament formats. The competition starts at a group stage, consisting of 4 groups, each with 4 participants. The group stage is played in a round-robin format in a best-of-1 matchup. The top 2 teams from each group advance to the next round, where they'll compete in a double elimination bracket. The double elimination bracket initially starts with a best-of-3 match between a group's first-place team against another group's second-place team in the upper bracket. The winner proceeds to play in the upper bracket, while the losing team is given another chance to compete in the lower bracket. If a team then loses another round in the lower bracket, they're out of the competition. This process is repeated in the following rounds until the upper and lower bracket finals collide in the grand final to decide the trophy winner. In the MLBB Women's Tournament, we start with the group stage, divided into 2 groups, each consisting of 6 participants. The group stage is played in a round-robin format in a best-of-3 matchup. The top 2 teams from each group advance to round 1 of the upper bracket, while the third-place team is placed in the lower bracket and is waiting for a matchup against the losing team from the upper bracket first round. In the lower bracket, if a team loses 1 match, they are eliminated from the tournament. This is the last chance to qualify for the grand final and win the championship. The winners proceed to the lower bracket final, where they'll face a losing team from the upper bracket final for the second spot in the grand finals to compete for the tournament trophy. The tournament pits 16 teams against each other on the battlefield of Thrinkok and Erangel, providing a challenging environment for the teams to navigate and conquer. The eFootball tournament format begins with the group stage, utilizing the best-of-2 format, with 1 match at the home stadium and 1 at the away stadium. Following this, the top 4 teams from each group advance to the single elimination bracket. If a team loses a match, they are eliminated. The matches in this stage are best-of-3. The winning team progresses, advancing through the bracket up to the grand final. Introducing the point ranking system for the overall champion. With 21 medal-winning teams participating, each gold medal secures a remarkable 100 points. Silver medals contribute 38 points each, and every bronze medal adds 15 points to the tally. Remember, there can only be 1 country crowned as the overall World Esports Champion, achieved by accumulating the most medals and points throughout the competition. Who will emerge victorious?
Hello and welcome back. We are heading on the way in towards map number 2. We had a very decent ending there as Algeria really set the tone, and now it's up to Egypt to respond. Heading in towards a Mirage. At the very least, it's a map in which is the middle ground, right? Everybody knows this. Everybody loves this.
Yes.
Egypt won't be feeling uncomfortable, but they've just lost their own map pick.
Yeah, that is a bit of a downside. You're not wrong about that. Such a close game, though. I think it's kind of hard to judge how this is going to be playing out. I hope it's going to be another one just like it. Obviously, it's the first best of 3 of the day. If you're just joining us here, then huge welcome to IESF, a concept that many of you maybe aren't as familiar with, but you're watching nations play Counter-Strike. It really can't get any better than this. We've seen a lot of local support already. People cheering for Algeria and Egypt in the Twitch chat. We appreciate it. And here we go. It's Riser to get the first kill, and the down was take another one. So great start here for Egypt as they're going to be running over the bomb site. Really no opposition, just straight headshots to bring down that A bomb site.
Yeah, great start to the pistol here. E2K. Ooh, we'll get one to isolate, but Lambda caught. In for the trade, so only the one casualty. That is a really, really nice start for a pistol, setting the tone once again on a really positive note. Algeria just don't pull any punches, and you kind of got to respect it. You're coming in towards this sort of map, and you've got to kind of set the tone a little bit off the back of a pretty decent win, but what was actually all the way throughout that map a very close game. Coming in and dominating a pistol like that, getting the econ and the funds sorted early doors. Very, very good spot for Algeria to put themselves in. And Egypt, sadly, they can't really do anything in towards this one. So all 5 looking to go B early as the bomb heads towards mid.
Yeah, you like to see that, don't you? Actually, it could be a bit of an interesting setup. Flash going out into the middle. It's just USPs. And I think that flash, unfortunately, it lands behind like 2 of the front players there on the Algerian side. So maybe a bit unfortunate, but I like the idea. I like the attempt of it. A little bit of a closer flashbang. Maybe it would have been a different round, but they're going to be able to close it out. It's a very quick round as we go into the 3rd one, and the rifles are picked up on the Egyptian side almost immediately. So, okay, well done. The main players, I think, for the first map, certainly on the Egyptian side, were Bingo and Alone. They were playing very, very well. And Lambda Core and I think Nidal as well were like, those were the 2 players that really stood out. So we have sort of 4 players that we're spotlighting at the moment, but we're, willing to learn more. Maybe some of them are going to be experts at Mirage.
You never know. You never know. Nidal, good start for him individually at the very least. 5 and 1 to 11 life. He's going to come early here. Egypt, their first gun round is one that at least has to be competitive. 0 start for Algeria. They're feeling the confidence. They're really kind of banking on the aim tools, and I don't blame them because it's working. They're making a little move here. Dottie gonna pop flash. It's a good little find from Bingo. Gets one and falls away just about, but Dottie's flying through the flames.
I actually like that. It's so sick. Like, he's trying to chase him down. He actually will. I can't believe it. I thought surely Dottie was going to die because you're running into the flames to try and catch a player. Like, he's going to hear you. Probably you're going to be dead. You got a back 10 as well, but he was so hungry to get that kill. So a little bit of revenge for him, but there's still a man down here on the Algerian side. So they're going to be really careful. See if they can do some damage. If they can win the round, it'd be even better. But the bomb is heading into the underpass. I think making its way towards, it's actually already in towards the B hallways there. So yeah, they're going to be congregating on this side. B2K will find himself alone with, I guess, Wesso being not that far away. So he can stay alive for like 2 seconds here. He's going to have some backup.
Yeah, it's true. UK has a decent little position. He's got to go at least 1 for 1, though. That's the issue. Not flashed. Not even flashing him. He's going to dive in towards the site. That's a questionable decision, has to be said. XAV will get caught. So will Lambda Core. And already now this round is basically a non-starter. Swing in the corner. One will be found there by Riser, which isn't bad, but 3 more fights to isolate. It feels nigh on impossible. One spotted in towards short. He's probably a dead man walking, in all honesty. He's trying to isolate. He's got to try and find these with only 7 seconds, and he'll be traded out. The one thing that let Algeria down there, just no flash to pop them out on towards the site, so 3 kills and they drop on a window.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I do like the fact that they are fairly passive in that 1 versus 4 at the end here. I think that's what you want to see. Not too many fights happening from Rizo. I mean, he gets that one, but other than that, like, they're trying to stay in a position where they can almost always trade the kills. So that's respectable. It was a fairly expensive round anyway, but no bomb plant. So Algeria going to be suffering a little bit of a cash loss on that front. Only the Deagle there on it out, so that's unfortunate. Alone is pushing up. Oh, that's a bit of a lineup. And FaZe is behind him to knock him down. Xnave and Nidal coming in, but he can't escape. Dotty's coming up with a bit of a kill behind. So 2 versus 3 still. The bomb, not quite sure if they're going to be able to find an easy bomb plant here. In fact, I don't even know where the bomb is. Oh, it's dropped all the way back towards T-spawn. My God, that's crazy. So this is a very tricky round for Algeria, no question.
Yikes, yeah, this is not easy. Wesso gonna find Dotty too, and now Lambda corner 1v3. This is difficult. He wants to try and isolate the fight. I feel like no quantity. Get one. No, we're gonna get 2. Hang on a second. And there's one for something. This is a 1v3 turn 1v1, and B2K is nowhere to be seen.
Oh, it's the same thing that we saw to Lamp the core at the start of it. On the right wavelength, so to speak, for any of the science fans out there. He's in a position we can win this one. 50 seconds left. It's B2K moving up. Oh, he's going to find him. Even with the FAMAS, a weapon that I still distrust to this day. But you know what? Some people are just really good with it.
Yeah, some people know how to make it work. I'm with you. I'm not a fan. The Galil, I can give you that one. The Galil's pretty good in towards CS2. FAMAS, I don't know, man. Still doesn't feel good at all. But it does for Egypt as they tie this game up 2 rounds apiece. And of course, no bomb plant out for the Algeria side. Will mean no buy here. Which is a good little spot that you kind of put yourself in. 2-all should be made a lead for Egypt on the CT side. That is a necessity. Mirage, statistically, the 3rd most CT sided map in the pool. You kind of have to get at the bare minimum of 7-5 on the CT side.
True.
So that you're not completely uncomfortable.
I think the problem with the FAMAS is it just sounds like a plastic weapon. Like, I think that maybe that's what throws me off. It's like, I feel like if they just made it more, like a more bassier sound, maybe I would play with it more. Like, it just feels like I'm not doing any damage, even though it obviously is a fine enough rifle, I suppose. We do have the 5th round coming up here. Like you pointed out, should be a bit of a lead here. Emphasis on the CT side being important. Definitely true. Algeria already with a 1-map lead. So, yeah, you know the pressure is going to be on. And like we pointed out, Egypt, they're going to be playing, is it Nigeria later on, I believe? Yes. So, yeah, just, you know, you've got a whole day of Counter-Strike lined up for yourselves. You want to be doing well at the beginning. You don't want to take an early loss here.
Pace would have been heard as they're keeping up via under, but alone at range. Gonna get a freebie. Now swinging a corner. Bingo finds one. That's just the bomb too. They've crept their way in towards jungle here, so they might be able to catch at least one off guard, but any more feels outlandish. Hang on a second. I say that. Taking up close. Can be a bit of a dicey game, and Nidal gonna get a double.
Oh my God, they're actually doing more. Dodie is in the middle, and his position is known, but I don't know, the bomb is right there. How is this turned into such an expensive round? It's outrageous. Great for Algeria. Even if they lose the round, this is still so important. They've done so much damage to the CT economy here. 50 seconds. And then he's going to get a chance for the Deagle, but only the one chance here. Alone sneaking in on him. Going to be the round for Egypt, but it's not a round you're going to be celebrating. You're going to feel like, damn, we gave away so much in that round.
Yeah, that was considerably more expensive than it should have been. That's what I mean. You know, those Tech 9s, they get active. Not a bad way to go about it. He was doing that without armor as well, which is fair play.
Yeah.
Even still, Egypt take a lead. So there is the main thing there for them. But, I mean, Algeria done a really good job of keeping that CT side economy from building up in any way.
Wow. Grenade bouncing around the corner. Oh, it's... Thought maybe it was a little bit too early, but it landed on top of them. Xnave is going to take down Alone anyway. And they're pushing right into it. Good rotation coming in from the CT side here. Egypt looking to shut this one down, although Nidal's up front, and he will get the headshot on Bingo. So still 3 versus 3.
Yeah, doable. Smoking by a front side. My bench will give them the luxury of the site itself. That is such a risky swing. FaZe gets caught by Nidal. He might get a second as well. He will. They're just gifting when the fight's one by one. The bomb plant will come through. Oh my God, BTK didn't spot him. And he will second down basket. Rizo, he will fall, but Dotty will trade. And just like that, a really nice round coming through. Need help. 3 kills to his name. He's single-handedly giving them the luxury there. So the game tied 3-all once again.
Oh, that is actually fairly devastating, right? Like, with the damage done in the previous round and now into this one, there's going to be no money on the Egyptian side here. So they are in a little bit of a temporary hole for the minute. So we'll see if that's going to change. They can't really invest into this one. Wow, this is dangerous. Again, Algeria being on the T side here. This is starting to look pretty grim. I do like this death ball approach where they're just sort of grouping up all of them all at once. If you're playing up against pistols, the one thing that you really don't want to do is give over an AK to like someone who's just alone. So yeah, stay as a group as much as you can and just trade out the round, even if it comes to like some sort of crazy fight. I think it's B2K. Yeah, he's at the back of the bomb site here, but nothing he could do. They're running over the map. It's going to be a 1-round lead after this one to Algeria.
Yeah, it's going to be the case. Lantico's going to get that bomb down, and the pistols of Egypt sadly aren't going to do all too much. There isn't really too much of a need to hunt here either. It's Eagle, the USPS. I mean, they don't know that, but no real point, to be perfectly honest. Algeria are going to make that a 4-3, which already is pretty decent. I was saying this earlier, but for me, I already think if you can get 5 rounds in your T-Sun and Mirage, I actually think you give yourself a very decent spot to work with. Any more is really good. Bingo, nice shot. Eagle instantly traded. And the last man alone, really not going to have any sort of impact here. He was looking for any exits out via apartments. He's not gifted them. That is going to be a nice little 4th on the board, Algeria. Good work. Gonna die, though. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, one way or another. I guess there wasn't much to save, so it's probably not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, they're getting there really, really quickly. 4 rounds now. Even after this one, the Egyptian economy is looking somewhat questionable here. Got 2 for Mars in play, got no AWP at all. And even some of the utilities are going to be lacking a little bit behind. So, yeah, they're in a tough spot. No head armor on anyone, which at the moment is not a big deal because it's AKs on the other side. But sometimes, you know, when Galil sneaks in, even that head armor on the CT side can make a bit of a difference. Nice shot from Xnave. He was almost grenaded out of the round. He is going to get shut down anyway. Wow, the fight in the middle is surprisingly deadly for the fact that everyone is flashed here. So I'm a little bit surprised they're getting that many kills. But 1-for-1 trade for the minute here. And looks like they want to go pounce on that B bomb site.
Okay. Swing. And a 5 for Doddy. Some more as well, and actually will get it off the back and need help. And that's probably the round. They spotted one in towards Marker, but he's just dancing between the 2 angles, and Bingo doesn't want to commit to the fight here. That is going to be that, and it's going to be Algeria making it a 5th on the board here. I mean, we've already a map under their belts, and now a very decent start to the T side. Getting a little worried for Egypt, and Landakor going to see off white. Bingo, he will fall. I said I feel Algeria on my side to watch coming in towards this, and I'm glad they've been able to live up to my expectations.
Yeah, they have. You did point it out at the beginning, and it's kind of cool to see that it's not just like the 1 or 2 players, but they have a couple of different ones. Like Dottie seems to be more at home on this map. Like you can see he's taking a lot more individual initiative. I mean, maybe even bordering sometimes on being a little bit too crazy with some of the fights, but who cares? Like, it's working out for him. He's got a 7-3 scoreline at the moment. Obviously, Nidhal's still playing very well at 12-4, and he was playing very well in the first map too. So I think for the minute, if we had to pick an MVP, he's a likely candidate at the minute for it. Playing some great Counter-Strike.
Oh, you're right. All right, so far so good. Where we find ourselves, 5-3, and again a similar situation where for Egypt they have to just sit here and say, what can we do, right? No real buy to work with.
Yeah.
Bar, Phase, and M4A1S. That is it. That's all they've got in the locker. I mean, it's a really tough situation where Algeria should guarantee the kind of the bare minimum a tied game, which on T side is not bad at all.
Oh, definitely not. Like 5 rounds, even in MR15 format, 5 rounds on the T side of Mirage is super doable. But MR12, oh wow, he's taking care of business now. What a great player for Algeria to have at the moment. But yeah, like I think 5 or 6 rounds you're playing MR12. It's so many rounds on the T side. Like you're carving out a great position. And it's also a different feel from what we saw on the opening map, right? Where it was like back and forth trading rounds. Nobody had any real lead all the way up until the end. Like it was a really close game. This is shaping up quite differently at the moment. It's about to be a 3-round lead here for Algeria. They have a lot of money in the bank. It's Egypt kind of struggling a little bit right now. Well, they're pulling ahead.
True. It is true. Not looking too bad at all, man. At least bit by bit. The conversation has to be said here where maybe this could be the beginning of the end for Egypt. Because so far, not so good. This is the CT side of Mirage, and they're already struggling. At least what we've seen thus far. Back into a buy towards this next round, but it's a pretty damning set that they put themselves in where, because of this kind of rinse and repeat cycle, full buy-in, no success, eco, and, you know, this gap starting to expand round upon round. We have to look at this and say, for Egypt, if they don't find of what's left of this game, at least one of the gun rounds, this could be a completely damning first half of Counter-Strike, which gives them no real leg to stand on heading on towards their T side.
Yeah, this it's kind of crunch time right now. If you're Egypt, this is where you want to change the game around. Try and at least tie up this game, make it a 6-6. I think FaZe already taken a bit of damage in the middle. That might have been from a grenade landing on him. I feel like it must have been there, thrown out by Rizo in the middle, and then it looks like another B hit. Like, they found so much success over here. Why wouldn't you try and do it again? Although, credit to Egypt for having a bit of a different setup here. In the defense now, they've got a double setup. So, Wezo, one of them, B2K back there. See if they can help each other out to defend the bomb site. But the problem is, if one of them goes down here, it's probably going to be a fairly quickly lost round here. So the first frag of this round is going to be real important. Nice Molotov. Oh, Wezo, so caught. And now B2K on his own. Backup is still about 5-10 seconds away. He does a great job in terms of doing damage, but it's not enough for the kill. So it still should be a bomb plant.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, save that. Sneedal and FaZe go one apiece. Not going to commit to the plant just yet. 2 versus 2. How low Rizo is. There's a real chance here. FaZe, look at that fight. Maneuvering around sight. The bomb will go down. The wallbang doesn't quite convert. They know where one is. They're just looking for that second player. They have no information. You can see them getting just a little bit angsty about trying to find him. They're posted up over towards door. Oh, spotted. And Rizo, low HP, going to find a kill of his own. The last man is FaZe. They know he had the AWP as well. So this round is probably done. A 1v2 retake with an AWP, no util, no kit. This one is a non-starter. Dottie will see it off, and Algeria guarantee a lead at the turn of the half. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they could have focused on the bomb plant instead of fighting once they actually are on the bomb site, but you know what? It works out anyway. Good job on Rizo. He's very low on health there, but landed some good kills with the AWP. Obviously, doesn't look like that's his main job necessarily, but he got the job done when they needed it. So, Algeria, yeah, right, really pulling ahead. What do you want to take a guess, Neo? What's the population of Algeria? Do you have a good sense of it?
Oh, I mean, it's massive, right? The question is, how many people actually fit in there? I'd probably say, like, knowing kind of like South Africa, I would probably say maybe like at least like 30 million plus.
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah, that's not a bad guess. Like, you're definitely in the right area. It's, Wikipedia says a little over 44 million people. So I would consider that's close enough. Yeah, I think it's very hard sometimes to guess. Like, I also, when I look up on the internet, sometimes it's very difficult to figure out. Like, well, am I in the right? Like, is it going to be 100 million or like the country is huge? So you know, it could have been, but yeah, there we go.
What do you think? The UK population, we have 67 million people, right? And we are
crammed in on an island,
a fraction of the size of Algeria. So it's actually kind of insane, you know.
Yep.
I mean, we have more population than South Africa. Yeah, then it's kind of nuts.
Yeah, and there's
it's hard to get a judgment. I mean, what's the population of Denmark?
About 5-6 million ish.
And you guys are landmass probably what, like 4 or 5 times the UK?
No, Denmark's going to be way smaller. Way smaller. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, we'll test that later. We'll figure it out later. This round is looking great for the retake. Again, it's another B hit, and they actually get in and get the bomb planted. So, success at the start of the round, but for once, Egypt are able to retake it. That's super important because they are starting to fall a little bit behind here. So, going to be a 4th round picked up, and it's... I think it's not too late to save the map, but it is. I think it's going to be critical getting even the 5th round here. Just get one more on the board if you can.
Yeah. 7 to 4. And just double check as well. Denmark is actually considerably smaller. I honestly thought Denmark. I know you have like a lot of like empty land mass. I kind of just thought it would be, you know, a lot bigger than it actually is. It's really not. You know, I think we are like, well, I think here we go. UK 243,000 kilometers squared. Denmark 42k.
Yeah. Well, it's because we're cheating with the maps, aren't we? Like, the maps are never like what they look like. Europe in general just is made to look bigger for stupid reasons. So, yeah, Denmark's tiny, and like everyone lives in.
I was thinking Sweden. I think I was thinking Sweden when I now
That's
look at a
fair.
map.
That's fair. Yeah, Sweden definitely is like they've got a lot of land, a lot of similar population, but giant piece of land. Beautiful country too. Here we go. We are headed into round number 12. It's the last of the half, and as you can tell, we've been kind of worried for Egypt at the moment here. They are struggling on the second map. It is Mirage, and they already lost the first one on Anubis, which I believe was their own map pick. So, in general, they are they're in a bit of a hole at the moment. Not too late to recover it, but definitely if they want to do it, then winning this round is going to be huge. And starts off with a good headshot, even maybe better there as they take down Ryzo on the second one. 5 versus 3. Now just take a deep breath. Don't take too many fights. Unless you're Bingo, maybe. But they should be able to clear this one out.
So, fight on the swing. We got one towards X-Day with Needhal with all to do. 7-5. Do you know, Anders, that's actually not a bad recovery from Egypt at the tail end. Just getting those last couple of rounds to give you some confidence. But fundamentally, that 5 in a row that Algeria picked up is really where they've given themselves a lot of confidence to work with. We saw how good that pistol was on the T side too. If they get another pistol here, it once again could already start to slightly feel like maybe the beginning of the end. So we'll have to see, but I'm still leaning pretty heavily in favor of Algeria thus far. Egypt, I haven't seen the consistency across the board of these gun rounds.
Yeah, I think that's the issue, but I would agree with you. Like, that's a recovery at the end. We'll definitely count it in. If they can win the pistol round here, it could be right back on. You never know. Sometimes it is a lot easier playing the T sides if you're, you know, like not a really well-drilled team than playing the CT side. So we'll find out here. Round number 13, second pistol round of the map coming up. It's Dodi put under some pressure and actually run down. Well done.
They got mid-control. Numbers advantage. Good little spot to work with for Algeria. There is a kit in play. Always good to have that as just in case. A bit of util as well. Mid-control's taken. Lambda core on a big flank here. He's now starting to make a little move. And he might just get a good timing too.
X-Nave. Okay, that's a good shot to begin with, but traded almost immediately. Bomb, a little bit delayed. Lambda core starting to get here. He was great on the pistols when we were over on Anubis. See if he can find another headshot. He will be able to bring down another player. It's FaZe on his own and feeling, I think, a little bit lonesome for some backup here. Yeah, he's faking the bomb once, but everyone is so low on health right here. Just wait until everyone's in position. Oh, he can't get the Glock back out in time, and it's Algeria to win the pistol in the second half, and that is a huge victory for them.
That's big. That is big. 8-5 now, and you know, going back-to-back pistols as well really does, again, settle the nerves, set the tone, and all of those good things you want to say about Algeria, where, I mean, it just gives you such advantages. You're starting off these halves with, you know, such an initial boost of confidence. And for Egypt, you know, there's two things there. A, losing that round is always pretty damning because you kind of start to fall a little bit further behind, but also on top of that, no bomb plant, no buy. It's all these tough ramifications that they've put upon themselves. The low buy, the pistols, looking like they want to rush towards B, and they might just go for it. That's a chunky nade that comes through.
Ouch. They almost jumped straight into that one. I really think losing the pistol round there might have been at least one nail in the coffin here of Egypt. I don't know if it's the final one, but their chances of recovering the game now are definitely growing slimmer all the time. And a little bit of an investigation. Algeria were not as aggressive on the CT side of Anubis as Egypt were. And I don't know if that's going to carry on to this. A lot of room for CT aggression on this map too. Oh, they're going to hear it. Grenade is going to be bouncing in. They want to really punch through the wall here, but they're just getting slowed down so much. And I think by now they're so low on health that any chances of a bomb plant is probably going to be almost done with. They're falling right back into the open arms of Ryzo. It's a great round here. The MP9's getting so many kills. They're going to be pretty rich on the Algerian side.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. A 4-round buffer zone they have gifted themselves now, and we have to look at this and say that this is a tough old spot that Egypt are going to put themselves into. Gun round going to come through here at a 9-5 scoreline. We had this exact same thing in towards map number 1, where thankfully Egypt did win the round, so they gave themselves a bit of leeway. But, you know, if you lose this here for Egypt, it's probably the beginning of the end. That means Algeria get 10, maybe even the 11th, gifted off the back of it too, and before you know it, in a lot of trouble. Molotov over towards Connector. Need help. Posted by a window, but he will be smoked off the angle. Double stack of the MP9s. Trying to get active, trying to get in towards the fights.
Yeah, still kind of sticking around in the window in spite of not really being able to see anything, but, you know, firing off a couple of shots, just warnings through the middle, saying, listen, I've got the AWP here. Don't try anything. And Bingo, really one of the great players for Egypt, as we saw in the first one, but hasn't really been able to be put into play yet. He's got about 7 kills for now. Interesting attempt from Dodi. Might have been worth it to stick around. He did get caught there, but once you're that deep towards the palace exit, towards T-spawn, maybe you just stick around. Mid control heavily in favor of Egypt at the moment. The bomb is still in T-spawn with 50 seconds left. That's not a big problem yet, but we'll see what happens if this AWP at CT spawn can do anything.
Bamming on towards the corner of Hellhole here. Looping, a bit of a fine as the AWP. Not need Hell, though, get the first. In the corner too, trying to do a bit of damage, and will. That's actually information gained as well, but the bomb still goes down, which is a good little spot for Egypt.
I still think they're in a good position here, Egypt here. They should know everything. Faye's going to be able to take down Lamp. The call, the retake is kind of on here, and they're going to get at least 1 kill in return. If they had a smoke right now, smoking the bomb and defusing, definitely viable. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe they can still do it, tapping it once. They do have a kit on Rizo. They pull out one player alone. Oh my god! What a great shot coming out here from the Algerian AWP. And they're going to get the defuse in. That is wild from Nidal.
Yeah, he's easily been kind of the MVP. You spoke about it a little bit earlier, right? He had a really good map number 1. He started well in towards map 2, and that will really kind of set it down and say, this guy is on fire. That's a brilliant round from him. All 3 kills he gets are wonderful, but that last one, that really is just something special. 10-5, and that might start to smell the beginning of the end. I mean, for Egypt, yes, the bomb plant facilitates a reinvestment, but mentally, they're probably so broken now. That was their best chance in a post plant, and it slips away to some individual brilliance. I don't know if Egypt have got anything left in the locker.
Yeah, that was the chance to really turn it around and get something on the board here. Start to roll some momentum on the T side, and they just weren't able to find it, unfortunately. Out-orbed in that moment. That was really, really sick. Dodi, good little boost. It's a classic, really. And going to be taking down FaZe. 4 versus 5 to begin with. Again, some mid-control definitely there for Egypt, but being a man down already early on, and you just can't be stopped right now. He's definitely trying to gun for that MVP trophy at the moment. Now with 22 kills. Just Dusaid does get taken down, but still he's had a massive impact on the game. And this position for Xnave, look at it. If they try and plant the bomb behind him, he's gonna walk out and shoot them in the back, surely.
You're probably right. Such a strong spot. As long as he doesn't go too early, he should be fine. You're gonna get one. Can't get a second though. He actually does go a little early. Swing in the corner. Bingo gonna get one more, but they might not expect Riser. Now they will. He's gonna deny the bomb, and he puts it into a 1 versus 2 with a low HP Wezo with it all to do.
How do you get out of this one? The Molotov on top of the bomb as well. It's going to buy even more time off the clock. Lamp, the call isn't even needed. He was going to be behind him with 100% health, but yeah, Rizo, great work, especially on the spray through to stop the bomb from getting planted. That's devastating. You are right though, Xnave. It was a bit early. You definitely could have probably coordinated that with your teammates a bit more, but they get the job done at the end. It's 11-5 here. Algeria, 2 rounds away from taking the whole series.
But and honestly, so deserved as well. This has been a side who have been really impressing. Really, really impressing. Now we know already up to 11. Egypt, you basically got 1 gun round to work with, and it's either do you go for a force buy here with not a huge amount of money to the table, or do you buy next way for overtime? And it looks like they're going to take the gamble. We got double AK, double Galil, and Bingo. What have you got for us? He'll actually pick himself up an AK as well. So they've facilitated a reasonably okay buy, but it is the big risk, right? It's the all chips to the middle of the felt. Lose this here, and well, sadly, not only do you lose the map, you lose the series too.
Yeah, there were kind of no more second chances here. Egypt, they need to show us something more. Where's Bingo when you need him? Get him back in. Him and Alone were doing a lot of excellent work on Anubis. They haven't had the same impact here on the second map, not yet anyway. Looks like more of an A execute with heavy emphasis on the palace. So Rizo, we'll see if he's going to be able to stop. He does have the M4A4, so I guess if they come through, he's got the bullets for it, but how do you stop this many people? They're waiting on the other side. Oh, he's going to get the early kill on Wezo. That really slows down things. Another one, Rizo. Absolutely brilliant work. The flashbang coming in from Nidal. I think it was Xnave to get one of those kills, but still, that is such a shutdown.
Lovely shot at the end as well. Beautiful. Beautiful work. I mean, these are some kind of crazy rounds at the tail end, but flooding through a smoke there for Egypt, I think might just, tell the tale, right? What has gone on in towards this one. Nice couple of shots at the tail end there by Xnave and Dal. And a 12-5 scoreline. Map number 1 had its moments of being close. However, this is not to be. This has been, unfortunately for Egypt, a sort of a non-existent showing where they really haven't got going at all. And Algeria have showcased just individually how good this side actually can be. Brilliant work. I've kind of sung his praises already, but you have to say it again. Nadal 23-8. He is loving life in the server.
Yeah, that is quite something. Well, Bingo rewarded for a little bit of patience there. Testing the smoke, flashing right through. Oh, he still gets the headshot. All right. He's got some talent. He'll get a 3rd kill in the middle. They were trying to bring him down. I thought that flashbang through the smoke was going to be enough to maybe get a kill on him, but Bamdakor on his own. Egypt answering back. They are fighting for overtime at the moment. So either way, this is going to be an incredibly difficult comeback for them. But, at least they've got the first one on the board.
It is true. And the core, nice. That's 1, and he will actually rip a head off, which isn't terrible. Any more will be nice, but it's not to be. So, Egypt, down but not out. They're not dead just yet, but it needs to be a miraculous recovery if that is to take this down the line. And, it goes without saying that what we've seen thus far, Algeria, the expectations, they respond in kind. They've got the money to work with for the most part. Donny might need a drop, but bar that, they're okay. And yeah, they squeeze on a buy, no issues. All back in play for Landakor and all of the rest. Algeria, maybe a little bit of a shock to the system. Maybe took the foot off the gas just a tad, but the expectations, they should still be able to close this out. At the very least for Egypt, that's good for their confidence to say, okay, if we actually just take aim duels against them, maybe we can try and catch them off guard.
Yeah, and the road back to overtime is kind of long at the moment, but you have to remember as well, if they lose this upcoming round of Algeria, then they're not going to have a lot of money in the next one. So it's not going to be 6 straight rounds where Algeria just really well equipped. They don't have that kind of funding at the moment. So there kind of is a way, but it does feel like it's a little bit out into the distance still. I think more rounds like that from Bingo would be the difference at the moment. Like, get his team fired up, get everyone kind of believing again. Not call it over until it is. They are putting some pressure on the middle. Some default Counter-Strike being played right now. Retaking the middle as well for underpass. Just always a good idea to have at least one player in there. Doesn't look like the CT side's very interested in taking this fight. So, yeah, Egypt, they're going to be in a position where they can execute from here if they want to.
True. Stacking, triple stacking, in fact, via ramp. But no one here. It's just one player selling the ruse. They're kind of gifted mid-control Egypt. The question is where they want to finish, but this is all set up for a B-split. Landakor has to get one and stay alive here. Realistically, with this sort of angle, the expectations he probably will. One is crossed, though. Now under a bit of pressure. Oh, my God, he's under a lot of pressure. 1 via short, 2 in via out of the apartments. It's all falling apart. They might have even just called to save.
Yeah, I think this is definitely, I would say, a good idea to save this round. You just don't have the economy. It's not going to be worth it. You've got so many rounds to play with, so don't try and win this one. Unfortunate for Landakor. I feel like if you're that deep in towards the B apartments, you surely want for one of your teammates to be covering towards Catwalk instead. And they just weren't, so he was very much on an island there. Xnave, I guess trying to make it a little bit expensive here. I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. But, yeah, I would have said just maybe save and just be happy to walk away with 3 rifles. Now they're down to the 1. That's helping out Egypt a lot. They're going to be up to 7 rounds, but the economy for Algeria is going to be really brutal.
It's going to be an easy spot, right? They maybe save 3 over. You can talk about the potential of a reinvestment in. 3 staying alive on that CT side does actually give you scope to work with in terms of the funds. Any less, though, and under a little bit of pressure. The big thing for me is, Landakor, I don't mind him playing aggro with the AWP there, but you've actually got to play a little bit more passive. You've got to invite a bit of pressure where you can find a kill, fall away. But because they've given up mid-control, him playing into his apartments is such an inherent risk. He has 0 support. 1 guy in via market, gets caught in transition himself. If you're Landakor there, the best way to go about it is probably play that truck angle where it's a bit of a head glitch. And at the very least, the short players can't see you until they're on site itself.
Deagle being warmed up in the middle. Going to be a little bit of an attempt. 2 people attacking alone, but he brought both of them down without real issue there. Well done. 3 versus 5 to begin with. And this should be one of the easier rounds here that Egypt are going to experience. Even dodging the Deagle for a bit. So just 1 player left on the site itself. It is Nadal, but I think even at that moment, like, even if he gets the 1 headshot, he's surely going to get traded out. So quick round. Egypt going to be up to 8. They're walking it back slowly. I mean, it's happening. And again, every other round is going to be a round where Algeria just won't have that much money. So there is a way back.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is the exact kind of right way to approach this. If you are Egypt, you've basically just got to take it 1 round at a time. You cannot really do anything less, right? I mean, there's no point thinking about the bigger picture or the kind of the scope of the comeback needed. You've got to take it a round at a time. Have the confidence that you can sort of back yourselves in these engagements. And so far, that is working. Right now, at a 12-8 scoreline, it's a 4-round deficit, which is still pretty massive, right? All it takes is 1 hiccup from Egypt. At the same time, they've given themselves scope to think about the map itself and think about potentially pushing this towards overtime. You spoke about it. That seed-set economy, it's so fickle, so easy to break. Might be a world in which they can do exactly that. But there is going to be a reinvestment now coming through for Algeria. Another buy back in. And for the most part, the gun rounds out for Algeria, especially on the CT side, have been pretty clean.
Yeah.
See what they've got for us. We see a FAM has picked up, which is never a good sign, but it's for the likes of picking up Utah, which is fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Closing out games sometimes can be kind of awkward. Like, it's almost like an art unto itself. Is one thing getting to the 12 rounds, but just finding that last one, how do you do it? How, like, do you want to take the extra risk, or do you kind of trust in the fundamentals that brought you to this place? It does seem like a good way to do it right now would just send Nidal somewhere and fight. Like, he's 24-11. He's so far ahead of everybody else on the server right now. So, you know, one bad engagement for Egypt with him in the mix, and you never know what could happen. But yeah, we're gonna find out.
Yeah, we will. See though. Let's see. There is very decent bites come through for Algeria. They lack a little bit of that long-term util, so if they're forced into a retake, they might have to just rely off aim duels alone, which is never good. But
yeah,
see.
you're right.
Flash over. It looks like they want to finish towards A here, Egypt. I don't mind this play because there's actually a pretty limited amount of control here for Algeria. They're kind of gifting them early ramp.
Okay. Some smokes are coming up right through. He just goes for it. Oh, but the spray through the smoke is even better here. Nidal is absolutely finding the right angle. The bomb is going to be planted on the other side, but he's done so much damage already here. The 4-on-4 is in effect. The bomb is planted once again as Egypt are looking to take another step towards overtime and pushing into CT. Spawn of the spray down is magnificent. It's going to be Lamp the Core shutting the door on them here, and it's just bingo 1 versus 2 to try and hold on. He does get the first one. Oh, might find the second. He misses the shot, and now he's brought out the P250 instead, getting it a bit close for comfort now. 1 headshot might just do it here. A jump on over. He's hunting him down with the AK, and he gets the spray. Turns around, and we'll be able to get the defuse as well, I think. Even without the kit, he should have just enough time for it here. My God, what a way to end it here. Algeria coming up with a 2-0 victory over Egypt.
Yeah, man alive. Fair play for Algeria. Really, really good. But I think a lot of credit also has to be given towards Egypt. They've actually made a really good game out of this. That was a competitive game of Counter-Strike. Very decent showing in terms of just the raw individuals. I mean, especially in towards that second map there. Bingo. Especially that tail end. Stepping up in a big way and very nearly putting a clutch across the line. But it's not to be. It's going to be Algeria 2-0 to start things off here, which is very good for them. And with actually, you know, how this kind of qualifier works with 4 out of the 5 teams making it through, even just getting 1 win, you basically not guarantee it, but you more or less give yourself a really good chance that you will be there at that LAN. Yeah,
I mean, just get a step closer for Algeria. Definitely a huge W there. You've got to say again, like Nidal at the end and throughout the whole game, really just showing himself to be on a different level. So look forward to seeing him, you know, play on a little bit more. For Egypt, obviously, they have another game coming up still against Nigeria, so they're not done playing for the day. But I don't know, like especially on the first map, obviously they could have definitely won that map, and we would have been on Inferno. There was a way to do it.